Well, hello everybody and welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways and happy 4th of July 2020. Yes, it is Independence Day here in the U.S. Those of you outside the U.S., I'm sure you've heard of it before. Anyway, without getting into a history lesson, I bet you nobody can guess what the weather is like today. Yeah, everybody all together now. Windy. Yeah, windy again. And the weather report says that we're going to have wind again tomorrow, again on Monday, again on Tuesday, and then a break on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then more wind. But that's a little far out for them to predict. I mean, they have trouble predicting any further than what they can see out the window in the morning. So, sorry about that, weather people. All right. So, today, because it was windy, I went into town and picked some things up. And here we go. All right. This is OSB, Oriented Strand Board, is what OSB stands for, because it's little strands of wood chips that are oriented. Pretty neat name for it, whoever came up with that. Anyway, I got my piece of wood. Silliest thing I ever heard was I want to have this cut to size, and I needed it 43 inches this way, and then 74 1/4 that way, because that's the size of the piece of glass I got. Okay, so anyway, I asked the guy in Home Depot to cut it to that. And he says, can't do it. I says, why not? He says, well, I can cut it to the 74 1/4, but we're not allowed to cut under 12 inches. And no cuts under 12 inches. I said, I don't want to cut under 12 inches. I want to cut 43 inches. He says, but that leaves a piece on here that's only 5 inches. I says, yeah, but I don't want a 5-inch cut off of this. I want this piece cut to 43 inches. Well, no need arguing with him. I was told years and years ago by a smart old man, never argue with an idiot because onlookers don't know who's who. So I just said, okay, just go ahead and cut it to the 74 1/4, and then I'll run it across my saw and cut it down to the 43 that I need. Anyway, 2x3s. Had a hard time getting this many 2x3s that were straight, not split, not full of knots, and not warped really bad. Just ridiculous. Lumber in Home Depot is terrible. I understand that they're having a problem with lumber because the lumber comes out of Canada, and because of COVID-19, there's some kind of a problem getting lumber. So there's actually a lumber shortage. Well, I said, well, at least I got enough 2x3s to get my solar panel done and have enough to do the breezeway between my garden house and the new greenhouse. But just totally ridiculous. So then I went and I said, well, I need to get some screws that I'm going to need for putting the greenhouse together. Those are the ones with the self-drilling with the rubber washer on them, so that I can really anchor the panels down. And while I'm talking about the panels, somebody gave me a great tip. You know who you are out there. Use silicone on those panels so that they are watertight, and it also helps hold them together better. So, hey, I picked up a few tubes of that. All right, so I also got my 100-foot roll of black poly tubing to make my solar panel. I picked up a package of the clamps that I'm going to need for clamping it onto the board. And then here's some of the fittings that I was mentioning. Here's the 90-degree fitting And that will, I'll have one on the start of the unit. I'll drill a hole the size of this unit so it fits tight through the plywood in the center, close to the center where the circle of this tubing is going to start. And I plug the tubing into that and then start my circling and clamp it down as I go around. I'll be showing that on another video, but I just wanted to update you on that. Now I have two of those elbows because once I get to the other end where the coil is ended right up against here, then I'll be adding another one of these drilled through the board again and sealed with some silicone, and I'll plug the other end of the plastic tubing into this. And I've ordered pumps online from eBay. They should be here pretty soon. But the solar pumps are going to circulate water through this plastic tubing, black plastic tubing, and all of this is going to be coated with black paint or black liquid rubber. I have a couple of cans of that, so I might use that. But it'll be black inside of here. The 2x3s will be a border around here, coming up 2.5 inches. And then the glass will be over the top of that. So this will become a gigantic water solar panel. And as the sun hits on this, it's going to heat those tubing up inside of there. And I'm going to get water coming out of that. It'll scald you in the summertime. In the winter, I'm not sure what the temps will be. But when we get there, we'll be shooting a video and showing you what the temps are going to be. And I will also, in the summer, I'm going to show the temperature of the water going in and the temperature of the water coming out of this thing. And that should be pretty interesting. All right, some of the other fittings. Told you I had to pick up some others. This one is a female hose connector. So I'm going to be using garden hose to connect it to my water wall barrels. So this will plug onto the outside part of the hose that comes out of here so that I can put a short piece of garden hose between this connection and the barrels. Then on the other end, I'm going to have the same thing, but I wanted a male end and they didn't have them. So what did I do? Well, I bought a male garden hose to male garden hose. So I'll screw that into the female end here, and then I'll have a male end. There's always a way around it. Now this little piece here will fit inside of the 1/2 inch poly pipe there, and I'll put a hose clamp on it. And then this is going to screw into the top of the barrel where the water is going to go into the barrel in the top. And coming out of the bottom of the barrel, I will have somewhat of the same thing, except I will have a male hose bib connecting, and I'll use my True Blue on the 1/2 inch male threads, and I'll tap the bottom of the barrel and I'll screw that in. So the last barrel in the run will have that, and all these barrels will be tied together using a manifold of PVC pipe. So I'll show you all of that when the time comes. I won't need that till the winter, but I'm thinking that if I do get another tote and I want to heat the water up in my homemade jacuzzi, I might just hook this thing up to it and let the sun circulate water through there during the day and have a nice hot jacuzzi with some, I've got some air pumps that go into the water to blow air. So I'm thinking about actually getting that jacuzzi together before the summer's over, and I'll set it up right out here and relax inside of that. All right, I want to catch up here because we're running a little slow on this. I had to cover all that. You see this this pile of rock tree leaves here, petrified tree leaves. I've been raking some of those up. I'm going to put some of those around the base, outside base of the chicken coop over there, because something's been tunneling underneath the corners and stuff, and it makes it harder for them to tunnel if there's a bunch of rocks in the way. But for right now, I was thinking, after this video, I'm going to grab a cold beer and have a beer on the rocks. I'll stand on the rocks and I'll have a beer. Oh, God. Oh, geez. That one was sad, wasn't it? All right. So I'm going to head on down. I bought some ant poison because I've got ants springing up everywhere out here. I guess it's the season. But I'll be standing there in my flip-flops and all of a sudden it feels like somebody is tapping a lit cigarette on my feet. So I gotta take care of the ants. Here's some right here. See if I can get down to where you can see them. See them all over the place? Hundreds and hundreds of them. They're coming up out of that hole right there. Well, gotta take care of that. So this ant bait stuff that I bought says to sprinkle it on there and then give it a light watering. And the next day you'll see that they're all gone. Okay, so anyway, since I pruned yesterday, you remember I had that ripe tomato down inside there. Well, I got some more turning yellow here because the sun's able to get to them because there's not a whole bunch of foliage around them. And then we'll come down here, walk around the corner. My potatoes are sprouting up. And I still haven't cut that head of broccoli, but it looks like I'm going to have to cut it real soon before it starts flowering. I'm going to cut that, and I think I'll make some broccoli and cheddar cheese soup. That sounds good. I'll have that as an appetizer. All right, there's my San Marzano tomatoes down there. They're ripening. All since I pruned this, they're coming up like crazy. I forgot to show you yesterday also. Look at the sunflowers. This one's going to be a double header. This one's going to have 2 flowers on it. It's got one that's open and another one on the top there that's starting to pop open. But yeah, got those going. And then, I wanted to show you over here. You see all the little black dots in there? That's all onion seed. So I've got to get over here and get a plastic bag. I put it over that and then shake it around inside the plastic bag, and I'll have a whole bunch of onion seed to plant more onion. So remember, all of these onions all were planted, all the onions I got grown in here were all planted by just a little root section on the bottom of an onion I bought in the store, and stuck that in the ground, and it just took off and started growing. And here's my white onions, and that one's getting nice and big, so pretty soon I'll be able to harvest that. And then over here, these are my Romas. Look at them all starting to turn color already because they're getting sun. Because there was just too much leaves on here. So I ate a bunch of the cherry tomatoes again, and I've already got some more ripen on here. I had cleaned all the red ones off. Those are still orange. Those will take a couple of days. But I got a couple of red ones right here. And that's just from a couple hours ago. Because when I left here, I watered everything down, got it nice and soaked because it's hot and dry. And the winds are blowing. Oh yeah. I got some garlic here. And they're small garlic cloves, but they're still good. And I'll use like these little ones here. Those will be for seed. And some of the others I'll use for making my spaghetti sauce and my pizza sauce. So, all right, that's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to show you. And, well, it's not all I wanted to show you, but that's all I'm going to show you for today. Ooh, the wind caught that. And, yeah, everything's blowing. I got to clean the solar panels again. They're all full of dirt and dust. So I'll be getting out my window washing squeegee and a bucket of, I like using car wash soap and some nice fresh water, and that'll work out. And besides this solar water heating panel that I'm making, I've got to buy all that stuff again, and I'm going to be making a solar distiller panel so I can put some dirty water into that solar distiller and turn it clean. And I'll be showing that down the line also. All right, everybody. Hope you have a happy 4th of July. I don't know if any of you are going to be seeing any fireworks. If there are any around here tonight, I'll probably come out and sit in the swing here and let the wind rock me back and forth. And I've got it pointed in the direction of the area where down through there and all the way down, all across over there is where all of the fireworks usually go off. We'll see if there's any of them tonight, and if so, I'll see if I can't catch them on camera. G-Bear signing off.